Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining Combining Traditional and Digital Marketing in a Full Funnel Strategy with Betty Clark and Henry Monahan from BBB Accredited Business in 2022 Torch Award for Ethics recipient, CPMedia and Marketing. Happy Wednesday. My name is Jeannie Rucker and I'm the Business Engagement Specialist at the Better Business Bureau serving Central Ohio. Full Funnel Strategy is a presentation in a series brought to you by your BBB. We have monthly events for networking and information to help you grow your business. Check out our list of upcoming events on the Events tab of bbb.org. Before we get started, this is being recorded. If your team members were not able to attend, the recording will be sent in a follow-up email. Feel free to share this email and pass it along to colleagues and friends. During a presentation, you can enter your questions into the question field. And at the end of the marketing presentation, there'll also be time for questions. Let's introduce Betty Clark, Managing Partner of CPMedia and Marketing, and Henry Monahan, Digital Marketing Manager. CPMedia and Marketing has been an accredited business since 2009 and has been a hallmark of trust in Central Ohio for 30 years. In fact, this year. So congrats to Betty and her team. Betty truly is dedicated to her community. She's a strong partner to BBB, acting as a member of the BBB Board of Directors, a chair of the annual Women's Leadership Conference, a city appointee to the Board of Directors for Visit Dublin, Ohio, director of the operations team of the Miracle League of Central Ohio, and sits on the Board of Advisors for the Dublin City Schools Young Professionals Academy. In 2020, CPMedia and Marketing formed a partnership with an award-winning, nationally recognized digital marketing company focused on the local marketing space. Henry Monahan joined CPMedia and Marketing as its digital marketing manager. The digital marketing space can be confused, but Henry and his 140 plus team members based in Denver, Colorado work with CPMedia and Marketing clients side by side every step of the way. Thank you, Betty and Henry, for presenting today. I'm going to turn the presentation over to you.
Well, thank you. So good to be here. So let's just get started. Tradigital, the art of blending traditional and digital marketing together. No matter what industry you're in, there's no doubt that marketing your business is crucial when it comes to its success and its growth. When implemented the right way, blending traditional and digital marketing will enable your business to target and reach customers, qualify new ones, and increase sales. In late 2017, the average person spent about equal amounts of time using traditional and digital media. With the pandemic, we saw a tremendous surge in digital usage. However, depending upon your target audience, businesses should not forsake traditional for digital. Instead, they should blend their marketing efforts. Digital marketing is generally more cost-effective and can be more targeted, while traditional marketing can be more effective at reaching a larger audience. So when blended together, the two are absolutely dynamite. The top two phases of a sales funnel represents a customer's awareness. Tactics here should be focused on raising awareness and attracting prospects that might eventually become your customer. Since the number of leads will decrease as they proceed down the funnel, businesses should target these segments with everything they have. That's why integrating traditional and digital marketing in the top of the sales funnel is absolutely a must. Most businesses are familiar with digital marketing, so today Henry and I are going to concentrate on some digital elements to try and make your marketing efforts a bit easier for you. Digital marketing really isn't that difficult to understand. You have to trust me on this one. The problem is that so many outside salespeople are probably coming at you saying that they can provide digital marketing better than somebody else. The terms are all interchangeable, and that's why it just seems so darn complicated. Henry and I are going to walk through the key tactics to help you along your way to success. First off is programmatic display. This is also known as display ads or banner ads. Henry, why don't you explain what programmatic display is all about?
Absolutely, Betty, and thank you so much for allowing me to join and talk to you about digital today. So starting first with programmatic display, the way we serve programmatic display ads is we work off the Quantcast top 5,000. So those are the top 5,000 websites and apps that, in terms of both visitation and usage, that we can go ahead and serve these programmatic display ads on. How we essentially get in the game is we work with a ton of different DSPs. One of them is the Trade Desk. And what we do is we work off remnant inventory, meaning that if NewYorkTimes.com, after they sell all of their direct ads, they then put all of their other ad space on what's called an auction. And that auction is determined by essentially a real-time bidding strategy. So what happens is every time somebody loads a page, they obviously get their content, and then those ads also end up showing up based on people's demographic, behavioral, and a ton of other interests that I'll go over in a second. It allows us to bid on inventory so that we can get in front of the right customer at the right time and make sure that that ad spend goes as far as it can by reaching out to the most targeted audience it can, and so that we can get great website visits, conversions, and at the very least, let targeted individuals in your area know that you exist. Next slide, please. Here are a ton of different targeting options that we have. The first and probably most effective way we can target people is based on their behavioral tendency. We work with a lot, I want to say hundreds, even thousands of data partners that essentially comb the entire internet for what each individual is predisposed to liking. So if you are a golfer, for instance, you probably go on a lot of golfing sites. Those data partners will know that this device is connected to all of those interests, and it allows us to serve targeted ads to these people individually, so that we are not wasting ad spend and reaching out to people who wouldn't even be interested in the first place of what you guys are selling. So again, this is where that digital and traditional, these two traditional and digital strategies can really come together. Traditional being that higher level branding and awareness, while these digital ads are more targeted and to people who are more predisposed to purchasing or at least interacting with your guys' business. In addition, we'll be able to use geographic targeting. We can go as granular as a zip code or a group of zip codes, as broad as the entire country if you'd like. So that mix of behavioral targeting plus geographic targeting allows us again to get granular and make sure that we're serving ads to only people who are predisposed to purchasing your product. Site retargeting is another big tactic that we use. For those of you that don't know, site retargeting is the ability to use visitors of your website and serve them ads after the fact. I'm sure you've seen it with big box stores or other major retailers that you interact with. You might look at a pair of shoes, it goes in your cart, and maybe you leave the cart. But when you're looking at news or sports scores later on in the day, that ad will show up, and it allows that customer who's, again, already predisposed to not only liking your product, but has already visited your website, and gives them that last push that they need to go back to the website, to finish their cart, to give you a call, to fill out a form fill, whatever end tactic, whatever end communication that we need to do there. Also, frequency targeting and day parting. That allows us to serve multiple ads to people and really start to be in front of people multiple times. We don't want to serve just one ad to a person, but we also don't want to serve 5,000 ads to one person. We are dedicated to making sure that that frequency is where it needs to be. It's usually about 3 to 4 ads every 8 hours. and that day parting as well. We don't serve ads between midnight to 5 a.m. as a usual rule. Now, if you're a special business who wants to reach out to people in the middle of the night, we're more than happy to lift those restrictions. But we find that people, during most waking hours are going to be a lot more predisposed to click on your ad and to interact with your site. Next slide, please.
Thanks, Henry. That was a good explanation of all of that. Now let's move on to pre-roll video. Simply put, a pre-roll video is a 15 or a 30-second commercial that runs prior to an online video. Think of a pre-roll as the video version of your display ad. It allows you to illustrate your product in a visual manner. Now let's move on to streaming TV, or also known as OTT, or over the top, or connected TV. You want to walk us through this one, Henry?
Absolutely. So as you all know, the streaming space has absolutely exploded both pre and post pandemic. More people these days are quote unquote cutting the cord than any time before. So in addition to these traditional, TV commercials that you guys are running or considering running, being active in the streaming space is also a very important place to be, because it is that around 50%, I think, of people these days have cut the cord, 40 to 50. So we want to make sure that whether they have a cable subscription or are just using multiple streaming sites, that we get in front of that person with premium content and get that branding and awareness out there. Smart TVs, Amazon Fire Sticks, Roku pucks, Chromecasts, even gaming consoles or laptops, tablets, or mobile devices. Anything that somebody will watch a streaming program on, we have the ability to go ahead and serve your ad in those spaces via an online forum. Next slide, please. Your commercial can be served across all devices. I saw something on the internet yesterday that had the difference between media in 1975 and 2023. In 1975, everybody, all 6 members of the family, were circled around just a little screen, and all attention was brought to those 6 channels that were available at the time. Now in 2023, the streaming TV is up as well with everybody in the family, but those people in the family are probably looking at additional screens themselves. So instead of just one screen that people are interacting with, they're interacting with 5, 6, 7 at the same time. So being present on all of those spaces allows you to be the obvious choice when people are considering your brand.
Hey, and Henry, let's not forget to tell them about blending a streaming TV campaign with a traditional TV campaign. The consumer ad recall boosts up to by 34%. And that's just compared to a 6% boost when you just add another traditional TV spot to a traditional TV campaign.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's look at some digital tactics for the middle phases of our sales funnel. So you've already created your awareness of your brand, and now we want your brand to show up when the consumer is ready to take action. For these tactics, one tactic that could be used in this phase would be a device ID targeting, or DID, or geofencing. You want to talk to us about that, Henry?
Absolutely. In terms of all the products that we can offer any small business out there, device ID is one of those that really gets everybody excited. It's probably the tactic that's being used when people are talking about their phone listening to them. I know I've heard it before. I was talking about this brand with my friend, and then when I logged on, I got an ad for that brand. That's not necessarily something that happens, but something that we can do is literally grab people's mobile devices, based on the fact that they visited a brick and mortar location anywhere in the United States. So what we do is we can draw a custom polygon, like you can see in this mall, and via the use of location services, we can identify all of the devices that have been in that polygon from all the way back 12 months or as soon as 3 days ago. We can gather those devices and then serve those devices those same banner ads that we talked about earlier in this presentation. Next slide, please. Thank you. There are a lot of different strategies that we can use with this location targeting. Visitor and conquest visitor targeting are the most used ways that people employ device ID or geofencing, especially conquest visitor targeting. If you're a restaurant or if you're a retail store, you probably want to not only grab the people whose behaviors fit your brand, but also want to grab the specific devices who have been in your competitor's brick and mortar throughout the past, anywhere again from 12 months to 3 days in the past. This allows you to directly steal business from your top competitors and get in front of those people who are not only predisposed to purchasing from your brand, but who also have actually been in those physical locations in the past, making those leads even hotter. We also use things like household extension. That's the ability to, once we grab these devices, we also know where these devices are registered by the cell phone company, where they live. We can then determine which devices are in proximity with that household. So now you're not only reaching mom who visited the retail store, you're also reaching dad at night when they all get together and watch TV, have dinner, whatever that is. That allows those dinner table conversations, what I like to call them, to be had and really expands that reach, but at the same time in a targeted way so that those conversations can be had and so you can get more people in your door. Next, please.
Okay, let's continue on with our tactics. And next we have search engine marketing, known as SEM or Google Ads.
Absolutely. So search engine marketing is the practice of marketing a business using paid advertisements that are put to the top of Google because of, because of that paid advertisement that you're running. It's also called cost per click. So another big advantage of using an SEM campaign is you are really catching people at that decision-making phase. What is the first thing people do before they consider a brand? It's probably going on Google and searching it. So in order to have your brand in front of people and get them to go ahead and click, SEM or pay-per-click is going to be a very, very good strategy to put your name up at the top, to get a lot of clicks, and to really utilize that bottom of the funnel strategies of conversions. That is really the main part of SEM. So we become familiar with the brand through those tactics that we talked about earlier. And then when people are finally in that almost last step before purchase, when they see you on top of their Google search page, they are going to be a lot more likely to choose you over your competitors. Again, I talk about conversions. Conversions are all probably you all care about. We love impressions. We love getting in front of people. But what do we really want? We want sales. We want calls. We want form fills. A great part of SEM is the ability to use things like call tracking, to track all the calls that come from the ads, the ability to tell you how many forms that were filled out because of this ad, as well as e-commerce sales and link clicks. So it's important to have those top of the funnel strategies so you're even initially considered for a purchase. But where SEM really comes in is the ability to go down, get granular, and tell you exactly what the campaign is doing and give us really good ways to optimize these campaigns to get you more conversions and get you more sales.
Okay, so Henry, can you explain exactly what SEO or search engine optimization is?
Absolutely. SEM and SEO sometimes get used interchangeably. They shouldn't, because they work on two very different things. I like to think of SEO as roads to your business. But instead of your brick and mortar, where that road has existed in 1950 and it's probably going to exist in 2050, Google changes these roads all the time. They make cul-de-sacs, they have dead ends. And so you, as a business owner, need to follow along those roads, make sure that these roads are as direct and as effective for the customer, so that your results become useful, relevant, and convenient. I like to think of SEO as your long play strategy. This allows you to not only show up at the top if you're paying directly pay per click, but these affect those organic results because Google looks at your website, and because of the work that we do at the back end, they look at that website and they know that this is a reputable person who has had a lot of business done in the past, who has really good reviews. We'll talk about all that later. But we want to make sure that your website is as easy and gets to the top of the Google search engine result page as often and as effectively as possible. Here's the Google search engine result page. So as I talked about earlier, SEM, that's always going to be at the top. Those paid for ads that show up at the very top of the Google search engine result. Next, you have local results. You can think of when people search restaurant near me or convenience store near me. Those are the type of searches that local really focuses on. And then the very last thing will be the organic results. So those organic results are what Google thinks are the most relevant and effective results for that consumer, because at the end of the day, Google wants you to come back for their search next time. So they are very invested in making sure that these results are as effective and as relevant to the user as possible. So, the difference between local and organic, local is really focusing on optimizing the Google business profile, generating reviews, making sure you have high quality photos on that Google business page, responding to reviews. Those type of things is what we help optimize. And then the organic SEO is really focused on the website itself. On-site optimizations, content optimizations, authority optimizations. Those show up below maps and below SEM, but as usual, if you're familiar with the Google results page, those are going to be most relevant to you. So if you show up in all three of these spaces, then you end up being the obvious choice.
Can you break down for us SEO? Like, for example, what is exactly local SEO?
Absolutely. So that is the strategy of optimizing that Google business profile. So it's what everybody goes to look at reviews and to look at something that they are very close to attending or looking at, right? If I'm out of town, if I'm in town and I'm looking for a new restaurant to go to, or I'm looking for a new place to purchase some sporting goods or something like that, that is going to be the main place that I go to, again, to look at those reviews, to get directions, to maybe even click to call. So we really want to make sure this local SEO page is optimized. Let me go back 1 second, I apologize. Because just as you see there, those stats, 88% of people searching for a local business will call or visit within 24 hours. They are this close to going ahead and doing business with you. Voice search is something else to find a local business, and that is really where local SEO stands out. The Google business profile, to give you definition, is Google's repository for information about your business. It can appear in that local 3-pack, which is what we call it, those top 3 businesses that are most relevant to your search. So keeping that GBP optimized and accurate betters the chance of appearing in that local 3-pack, so you become the obvious choice. That knowledge panel, again, as you can see in that Abacus HVAC example, that gives you all of the general information that anybody would need to make a decision. So again, optimized and accurate information is going to allow you to show up higher and become that obvious choice.
Yeah, and just when everybody got used to saying Google My Business and know what that is, then Google decided to change that name to Google Business Profile. So they're one and the same, so don't be confused there.
Absolutely.
So, okay, let's talk about organic SEO. What's that?
Organic SEO is one of the more complicated products in terms of in terms of what we do to make sure that your page is optimized, especially if your clients are a little bit more savvy. They're probably going to put less put less authority towards those first paid for examples because they know those are paid for. They want to have the most relevant searches to them. So that's where this organic SEO really comes into effect here. 40% of revenue is captured by organic search traffic. 60% of Google searches are done via mobile devices. Google treats your website differently if it's being searched from a desktop or mobile. So you could be working on an SEO campaign, you could have that going in the background, and you could be doing really well in the desktop section of it. But if mobile isn't being optimized, you're losing out, there you go, on 60% of the possible business you could be getting. Organic traffic and being on the first page. We always joke that the best way to hide something is on the second page of Google. So making sure that you're on the first page of Google gets you in the conversation of decision making. 40% of all searches are also seeking local information. So we want to make sure that that page is optimized for people in your area who are searching for whatever they need.
And excuse me, we do have a question. As a small business, if I can't do all the digital options at once, where should I start spending the money?
I think that all depends on your goals, correct, Betty? And I think we would love to continue that conversation of, well, what are you really looking to accomplish, right? Is it just getting your name out there? Are you a new business? Or do you have really good marketing, higher in the funnel, and you're just losing a lot of leads after they get to the website? So I think it really, and that's something that I really love about working here, is we really customize these efforts based on each individual business and each individual goal. So I'd love to continue the conversation, right after, to see what your goals are and to really make an effective, individualized plan.
Yeah, all they have to do is reach out to me, and that information will be at the end.
Absolutely. So at risk of boring you guys, I won't get too deep into the exact factors and how they all and how Google considers all of them, because they do change frequently. That's something great about our team, is that we are Google preferred partners. We are the first to know about these changes, and we can really work on optimizing while everybody's a little bit behind. So authority is the first one. If you have really high quality pages linking to your content, Google sees that and says that, oh, this page was referenced by the New York Times. They must be pretty trustworthy. Let's put them higher on the search result page. On-site optimization. Those are like page speed, URL structure, all of that nerdy backend stuff. Might bore you, but it's really important to make sure that Google can really take advantage of everything that you have in the back end there and can put you to the top. Content as well. Those are titles, blog posts, all parts of that are visible to search engine users. Descriptions, everything in between, again, allows you to show up at the top of results because you are speaking to anything relevant that your customers are looking for. There it is, on-site elements. So our partnership with Google, right? I talk about it all the time. It gives us that inside track to understanding the optimizations. By optimizing elements like, again, page speed, robot.txt files, which is how Google scrubs your site and reads it to show up on, at the top of a Google results page. Site architecture, meta description, headings. We work to optimize these. So again, Google sees that your website is fast, trustworthy, and puts you on the top of the results there. Content. We'll work on developing SEO-driven content for you. So again, Google evaluates that content to determine how useful you are. It's all about placating Google. SEO is all about placating Google. And so with that inside track of understanding, we have the ability to write blog content for you all and to make sure that it is as optimized and as effective as possible and as relevant to your searchers as possible. So again, we always talk about having a full funnel strategy here and diversifying these advertising tactics. We want to be as relevant in all of these parts of the funnel that are possible because it's a funnel for a reason. We're not going to sell to everybody we serve a display ad to. But if we pair that display ad with a traditional ad when they watch TV at night, and we show up when they're looking at their phone while they're watching TV, if we can serve ads to people who are directly in your competitors, and if we can serve ads to people who are actively searching and are very, very close to making a decision, this makes that funnel as large as possible and really starts helping those people get through and make a decision. Because on average, it takes 8 touch points for a consumer to interact with your brand for them to convert. That might be 3 display ads. That might be a search retargeting ad. That might be an SEM campaign. That might be SEO. So we need to be as relevant in as many of these sections as possible so we can really take advantage of that interest that we're driving at top to eventual conversion and retention of your customers. So it all really plays together. And that's what we really like doing, is making sure that we can, develop these custom campaigns for you, because every business has different goals. So we want to make sure that we're developing and using these as effective as possible, which is, again, a great conversation to have right with Betty and myself, at some point later. So that's really what I'm excited about, is the ability to use these touch points and to, really decide what you guys want to do as a business. What are your goals? And we can really develop a plan in the frame of this funnel to make you guys as effective as possible and make that ad spend as effective as it can be.
That was me last night. I caught myself that I was watching TV. I was on my tablet playing a game, being served ads. In between the games, I would pick up my mobile and look at my emails and Google something that I saw on TV. So I was using all 3 at once and receiving different messages. So I'm definitely that person.
And everybody is, right? Maybe you just have 2 devices, maybe you have 5 devices, but getting in front of them in as many of those modalities as possible, again, is gonna make sure that maybe they wouldn't have visited your business before they saw an ad, but maybe the display plus the SEM plus the SEO puts you in front of everybody else so that they'll visit you later on that week.
So what happens if you don't use a full funnel strategy? And that's real simple. Without a balanced full funnels approach, your brand identity and your voice will diminish.
Because every other business out there, at some point knows this type of information, right? Because if you're just running an SEM campaign, it might not matter, because even if you show up high up on the search engine results page, they're not familiar with your brand. They don't even know you exist. So somebody else who's running this full funnel strategy, who this customer is already really familiar with, is then going to go ahead and take that business from you.
Right. It's all about blending the traditional and the digital. So hopefully in the short time we've had together, Henry and I were able to provide you with a clear understanding of the art of blending traditional and digital marketing and why it's essential to utilize both in growing your business.
We had one more question. If you have to allocate a marketing budget between traditional marketing and digital marketing, how would you divvy up that spend for 2024?
Well, again, I would say that it all depends upon what your objective is and what your goal is. If we might put more money into digital versus traditional or vice versa. So it all depends upon what you're trying to accomplish.
Thank you.
If there aren't any other questions, Henry and I want to thank everybody for spending time with us. Hopefully you ate some lunch while you listened. If you have a problem that you're facing on blending traditional and digital marketing efforts, we're here to answer your questions. Just give me a call or shoot me an email and we'll do our best to solve your problem. So if there aren't any other questions, Jeannie?
Yes, thank you for all attending our webinar today. If you're an accredited business, I'd love to invite you to join us in person on August 29th for breakfast and networking, followed by a presentation on maximizing your accreditation benefits. You also get a dedicated one-on-one time with our BUB staff members to answer any questions specific to your business. If you're not an accredited business, ensure your organization is listed in BUB's directory. It's free to all businesses. And while you're there, you can explore the benefits of becoming a trusted accredited business. Again, Betty and Henry, thank you so much for your time and expertise. We appreciate you presenting today.
Oh, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone have a wonderful day.